So, today, trying out some mill in Historic. Last night, was thinking about it, thought, why not? Let's see if this is a thing in Historic. Here's the list, pretty standard. Of course, Rune Crab, one of the newest additions to mill. Cool little card that's used in modern mill as well. Sure it's going to do great here. We have our enchantments, Teferi's Tutelage, and Psychic Corrosion. Every time we draw a card, we're going to mill. Same thing over here. Drowned Secret's another enchantment. Whenever you cast a blue spell, your opponent is going to mill 2 cards. Then we have our creature mill. We have Merfolk Secret Keeper, not really the creature side that's milling, but it's the first sorcery adventure side. And then later we can cast her out for a 0/4 blocker. Wall of Lost Thoughts, same thing, 0/4 blocker, mills 4 cards. Then, to make everything else pop way off, we have Bruvak. Bruvak is going to double all of the milling. When this guy is on the battlefield, it's pretty fun to watch all those cards spin off the top of your opponent's decks. Then, Ashiok for the Planeswalker slot. She's going to mill 4 cards, then exile the opponent's graveyard. Could be great. Also, stopping opponents from searching the libraries, which is not really too relevant in Historic, I think. But never know, might come up. Then playing a little bit of removal and counter. We have Drown in the Lock that does both, and then Blood Chief's Thirst in the main to kill a couple pesky early game aggro creatures. That's pretty much the deck. It's all the good mill cards. Let's see how it goes. Jump into a couple games. Big Angry Hobo. All right, let's do it. Trying to mill somebody out before they smash in my face in Historic. Also playing best of 3, so if you're one of those people that have been watching my videos recently and you saw the best of 1 games I played with Mystic Reflection and the best of 3 games I played with the Angels decks, which ones do you prefer? Do you want to see best of 3? Do you want to see the more streamlined best of 1? Let me know. This hand is pretty good, except for the fact that we only have 1 land, so throw it back. This time we have 3 lands and a couple of our mill things. I didn't mention Into the Story during the intro. It's going to draw us a bunch of cards. Great card if you're playing mill. So definitely keeping this. What do I want to throw away though? Probably the Into the Story. Hope to draw it again a little bit later on in the game. Let's see what the Big Angry Hobo is up to. Alright, lead on the island, pass it over to the opponent. Okay, opponent not doing too much, so I think we'll put this out on the black side and then just cast out a Drowned Secrets. That way, get a little bit of extra value every time I play some of the blue cards in the deck. I think actually all the cards except for Blood Chiefs is a blue card in the main board. So tons of value from this Drowned Secrets. I am only playing 2, so it is possible that maybe I should go up. But we'll see. Play out the Drowned Catacomb. So I could lead on Bruvak. Bruvak is really good, and he's going to be milling a ton of cards, but he is a bit of a lightning rod, and I feel like our opponent is just going to kill him right away. So then the other option is to go with the Teferi's Tutelage. Get it onto the battlefield. I don't think the opponent's going to be very easily able to deal with the card. We can cycle away something. This is safe. This is a higher outcome. I'm going to go with the high roll. Let's see if we get the high roll. Hope to dodge like an eliminate or what else kills Bruvak. A lot of things kill Bruvak. But he does have a nice body, 0 or a 1/4 rather. He is going to be blocking a lot of things in some matchups and quite hard to get rid of for mono red. He hits me with the Thief of Sanity. Awesome card. I'm going to look at my deck, or the top cards of my deck, and take one of them. Chandra is always so angry, isn't she? I guess I'd be pretty angry if I were always on fire. Okay, there's the Hostage Taker. Pretty annoying, but the opponent does have 2 cards in his graveyard. Yep, this is good. So we can lead on Rune Crab. mill a couple of more cards, up to 4 cards in his graveyard, which is relevant for Drown in the Loch. That's why I'm mentioning it. I'm going to put out the Pathway on blue, mill 3 more, and I think I want to kill this Hostage Taker before he does something with my Brewback. I just kind of want my Brewback back. So he's back on the field, and now the opponent needs something else to answer this guy. Otherwise, next turn, I'm going to do a lot of damage to his deck. Already down to 40 with a bit of a slow start. So I think the mill deck has the potential to actually steal some games. I'm not sure how reliably it will do that, but I can try. So Thief of Sanity hit again, and he did have a Bedevil for my Brewback, which kind of expect that. There's, oh, he pulled the Blood Chief's Thirst out of my deck. I only play 2, so really fortunate for the opponent to find that. I think what I'm going to do is scry with the Temple of Deceit, and then probably throw out a Teferi's Tutelage. A little bit slower now that we lost both Brewback and the Crab. Into the Story is great. The opponent has enough cards in the graveyard to reduce its mana cost. It says if he has 7 or more cards in the graveyard, you get to 7 cards very quickly, and you can often play this as a 4 CMC for 4. So if nothing else goes wrong, if the opponent doesn't have any counter spells or hand disruption, this Into the Story next turn is going to really refill our hand well and give us a chance to actually take game 1. Opponent stealing a lot of cards with this Thief of Sanity. Not too big a fan of that. That's super unfortunate. So he had the Nicol Bolas to get the last card out of my hand, the Into the Story. And now I am in mega trouble, especially drawing a Temple of Deceit. Let's scry. See, here's the thing. He's going to... It doesn't matter what I put on the top of my deck because the Thief of Sanity is going to hit me next turn and mess that card up. So, kind of playing blank. Hoping something comes out the top. Opponent down to 32 cards, but 32 cards is not nearly enough, especially with the opponent attacking for 12. All right, is there anything that gets me out of this? I don't think so. Really needed that Into the Story. Draw an island. That's a lot of lands. So, didn't really work out. Gonna go to game 2. So, I think Brewback is maybe just too vulnerable in this matchup. He's going to be eating tons of removal. So, get rid of him. I feel like the Mystical Disputes are going to be pretty good in the matchup overall. Bring in at least 2, maybe even 3. Maybe go down 1 Blood Chiefs. Okay, try it like that. Okay, opening hand, a little slow, but do have the Mystical Dispute. Maybe it'll get something on turn 2 or turn 3. Really wondering if this deck should have Thoughtseizes in it, especially Thoughtseize in the main. It's a consideration. Opponent thinking about what he has over there. Wait, just lead on the Watery Grave. I'm just going to put it in tapped. He does the same. We draw an island, so I throw out a Drowned Catacomb, hold up the Mystical Dispute. Maybe it catches something, like I said. Well, Thought Erasure. I'm going to do this because then I can lead on the Ashiok and hopefully she can do quite a bit. Okay, so exile 4 and then get rid of our opponent's graveyard. If she, or if Ashiok, if Ashiok stays on the battlefield, this card can really churn through the opponent's deck. So Thought Erasure is very good. Unfortunate kind of non-bow synergies with Ashiok is that Into the Story kind of requires the opponent to have a graveyard. So although Ashiok's able to mill 20 cards over the course of her life, its life, I'm not sure if it's the card I want in the deck. So we can kind of play around it though. This time Ashiok first, then I will throw out the Maddening Cacophony, mill 8, and the Wall of Lost Thoughts, mill 4 more. And then if the opponent doesn't have something for this Into the Story next turn, I can lead on that for 4. So there's ways around it. Oh, so the opponent missing on lands and kind of just accepting that things were not going to go his way. Okay. On to game 3. Okay, so this hand, I mean, a lot of good stuff in it. Kind of got to hope to peel the third land relatively quickly. I would love for this Rune Crab to be able to resolve onto the battlefield and stay there for a while, but kind of feel like with the opponent going first, it's not probably going to make it very far. I'm going to try it out. Do have a Scry with the Temple of Deceit, so that's something. Okay, opponent on a little bit of an aggro plan. So we miss on the land. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Okay, attacks for 1, puts in a Steam Vents. Alright, Rune Crab, go do your thing. Milling 3 cards. And then may as well play this out while I have the mana open. 4 more cards. Pretty much need the land next turn or things kind of go real lopsided. Let's hope. There's the lopsidedness. I could put out the Wall of Lost Thoughts, but I think I want to lead on the Secret Keeper and hold up Mystical Dispute. Maybe. Try to stop a Nicol Bolas on turn 4. I'm kind of fine with him wasting his turn pumping this up. That's okay to me. Oh, man, deck. So last turn, or last game, the opponent having the mana problems. This game, it's over in this court. Opponent not having any troubles making land drops, and Nicol Bolas pretty much seals this. Would have been a great card to counter with the Mystical Dispute if I had drawn the land, but deck is just not cooperating. Oh boy. Hey, there it is. So I could put out a wall, but I think it's maybe better just to hold up the dispute because I'm so far behind. I'm not going to get much value out of this later on. Okay. Maybe take a little bit of damage this turn from the knight. We'll see. Pretty crazy that you can get blue, black, 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 red out on turn 5 pretty consistently. Lands are really good right now. All right.
No pressure.
Oh, man. All right. I'm going to do the Teferi's Tutelage just because I want to cycle a card. This Mystical Dispute's not going to get any value. He's got so many lands right now. Could keep it and then next turn play out a Psychic Corrosion or Ashiok and then hold up the Dispute. Just doesn't really get me any closer to milling out the opponent, does it? Yeah, I'm not really sure if there's any real hope. Both of these being on 8 and 10, having two of the Chandra things, and yeah, just those turns where I missed the lands kind of sealed it for me, I think, in this one. So little unfortunate that this is the way the game's going to go. Both the opponent and I having kind of deck problems on both ends. Yeah, gonna decide the game. Play it out. We'll see how low we can get their deck before this knight inevitably kills me. A little weird that he didn't attack there. $30 cards. So I could, into the story, draw quite a few cards. Not terrible. Oh, I just lose next turn, right? From the -8. Alright, let's go see what we draw. Let's see if we draw 4 lands. That's all I care about. 3 lands! Alright. I suppose I could have put out Ashiok to make it a little bit harder, but it's not even that much harder. He would just kill Ashiok with the knight, and I could have left her on 5. Oh well. So a little bit rough start. We'll recover and come back for the next one. Okay, more mill. Playing Geek with a Beard. Man, I've run into this guy quite a bit. Looks like we're both stuck at bottom of Diamond. Land issues once again, but 2 lands this time. Going to be a little awkward because it won't come in untapped, but it can lead on it. That's fine. Don't know what the opponent's on, so I don't know if this Blood Chief's Thirst is going to be relevant or not. It probably is. More often than not is relevant. I'm going to get rid of the Ashiok, lead on the Drowned Catacomb, pass it back to the opponent, see what he's up to. Azorius, so maybe this Blood Chief is not super relevant. Lead out on the Drowned Secrets and see what our opponent can do about it. He's going to foretell a card. Sure thing. Little awkward with this Rune Crab because I would like to play out the Rune Crab and then the Watery Grave, but I also kind of just want to get down this Psychic Corrosion. Probably that's the better play this turn. So, mill the opponent for 2. He's on definitely an Azorius control type deck. Knew that, of course. Ooh, not playing anything. Well, we get his Teferi. That's not too bad. Okay. Do this. Gonna mill for 6 if they both resolve. Saw it coming. Sure. I think I'm gonna put out the Rune Crab. Next turn, if I draw a land, I can try to go for Into the Story. And I don't want that awkwardness with the Rune Crab in hand and then playing out the land. Yeah. So he foretells another card. Stuck at 3 mana, maybe? Nope. He finds the fourth land. There's a very good land for us. That's the one you want with the Rune Crab. Getting double the triggers. I got to imagine that he foretold another Sot coming, making me not really... I don't really want to throw this Into the Story into that Sot coming, so just pass it back to the opponent. This card is too valuable. Hopefully he does some... I don't know. Like, let's say he puts out a 5th land, plays out a Teferi. He's going to untap 2 lands, and he's going to have up the Sot coming, so kind of a bad position all around. It is instant speed, though, so maybe he's gearing up for a big shark. And if that's the case, then I can respond with the Into the Story and get him with a lot of cards. Okay. Cast out. Alright, that means I want to Into the Story. Oh, baby. Got to imagine he's going to try to take the Psychic Corrosion. Alright, down to 17. Yeah. A little unfortunate to get 3 lands there, but we do have a Rune Crab on the field, so lands are always going to be pretty good as long as this sticks around. There's an Narset.
Those who cannot perceive beyond the veil of reality are lost.
Little jealous of his Parallax Narset. I do have the stained glass one, but this one's much cooler. And then he Doomscars. Oh boy. So, I guess I kind of have to deal with this Narset because I really want to Into the Story. So we'll get her off the battlefield, play out an island, and I think it's a Wall of Lost Thoughts, rather. So mill him for 6. Down to 9. Unfortunately, losing that Teferi's Tutelage means that this Into the Story loses a lot of its value. Wow. That sucks. Yeah, I should have known. I saw it in his graveyard, so saw it coming a mile away. But no. So we have access to 7 mana this turn. I can Psychic Corrosion plus Ashiok and the Merfolk Secret Keeper. That's quite a few cards. Probably what I want to do, right? So we got to do everything all over again. Working extra hard to get a win.
Welcome to my world of nightmares.
Probably should have done the Ashiok first, now that I'm thinking about it, because of exiling the opponent's graveyard.
Almighty world,
But
I concede.
we'll see if it works out. The requirement on Into the Story is not super harsh, and I feel like, I mean, of course it was wrong. It was wrong to do it the way I did it, but I feel like I'm not going to be able to resolve it Into the Story most of the time. Okay, he's going to be holding up an Absorb. Sure, let's see if we can bait out that Absorb with a Teferi's Tutelage. There it is. Yeah. Okay, So this is going to work out anyways. What am I saying? The Narset's on the battlefield. I can't. I gotta kill her. Okay, good. Fantastic. So, fat fingering my way into getting rid of this Narset.
My mind needs a rest.
I'm not going to Ashiok this time because I don't have the cards to get the 7 cards into the graveyard with my enchantments this time, so I'm hoping that this into the story can hopefully resolve. If it doesn't resolve, it's still going to mill 2 cards at the very worst. So, it's something. And he is down to 19 cards. Digging with the Behold the Multiverse. Finds 1 card on the top. Got to assume it's an Absorb, yeah. So. Okay. Well. Do you think he really plays more than one of those memory cards? Maybe. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to Ashiok after. Because he's getting super low. He's going to lose a lot of cards here. He's going to cycle, helping me out just a little bit. Okay, opponent down to 2 cards, so over to you. You gotta do 18 damage to me somehow. And, yeah, looking pretty good for the mill deck. Doing it twice. Getting the win from Geek with a Beard. Awesome. Oh, working extra hard over here. So, Blood Chiefs can come out, bring in the Mystical Disputes. Probably gonna want all 3 of them. Wondering if I should bring in Cling to Dust this time just to hit that memory card that allows him to restock his graveyard. Or his deck with his graveyard, rather. What do I want to take out, though? Could also make the argument to bring in Spell Pierce. He didn't see the Bruvac that game, so I'm wondering how much removal he's going to leave into the deck. I mean, we do have a lot of creatures, but this one and the wall, they get immediate value. I think I can take out the walls. I don't need them as blockers, and they are one of the weaker mill cards. It's only 4 for 2, whereas Maddening Cacophony does 8 for 2. I'm going to bring in 2 Cling to Dust. Actually, I think I'm going to go down all the walls and maybe bring in 1 Spell Pierce. Cool. So, deck was kind of working, even though there were a few awkward lines that I took, and the order in which I played those lines out, but still managed to mill the opponent out twice in that one game. Kind of twice. Okay. Yeah, let's lead on the Secret Keeper. Venture deeper. Mill him for 4. Looks like we got some pretty good stuff. Mystical Dispute. Probably got to keep that in the back of my head. I wonder if it's right just to pass and then counter his Narset. Yeah. I think that's probably the slightly better line. Okay. So just keep playing out lands. I'm not going to play that out. It's not doing anything at 0-4. If I leave it as an adventure card later on when I get that card that allows me to mill 2 whenever I play a blue card, it could matter at that point. Right now, it's literally doing nothing. This time, I think I'm going to Maddening Cacophony because I can hold up the Mystical Dispute at the very least. Maybe he's got an Absorb for this. Nope. Let's go. So, hitting more cool cards. over to you. Being very conservative with his mana and cards over there. Okay, gotta imagine that's a Saw It Coming. A little unfortunate that I didn't find the fourth land. The fourth land would have been huge there, because then I could have played out one of these 3-drops, holding up the Mystical Dispute. Do I just play into the Teferi's Tutelage, or play the Teferi's Tutelage into the Saw It Coming? I don't know if I like that. But it also, if it resolves, it's going to let me loot. And I'm going to have to get rid of that Saw It Coming eventually. This is going to be one of the more vital cards that in this matchup, though, with what I have. Oh, I think I just got to pass. Hope I draw the land next turn. Oh, it was a Behold the Multiverse. Yeah. Actually, I should... Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure if I had enough lands in his graveyard to stop this. I don't want him scrying and fixing his hand right now with Behold. And I can still hold up the Mystical Dispute for its Teferi. Nope. Missing the land. Alright, I think I'm in desperation mode. I gotta throw out the tutelage. Find the land. I think it's gotta be Secret Keeper. Okay, opponent up to 6 mana, so he's able to do a lot of crazy things at this point. There's the commit. So he's going to have memory in his graveyard, which means I gotta hope that this resolves and I can get rid of the memory. He's got 2 mana up, so it's very likely he has another Dovin's Veto. Yeah. Had to try. He could just go for it now. I wouldn't mind a new hand, honestly. He is down to 2 cards as well, so he's probably thinking a similar thing. No. Alright. Bruvak being on the table would be really good. Just getting this tutelage would be good. Unfortunate that I'm kind of getting in these weird situations where I'm not able to play out 2 cards a turn with the amount of lands that I have, and just creating a lot of... It's kind of forcing me to do things I don't particularly like doing. So I think I got to try the Teferi's Tutelage. I could have held up the Drown in the Lock for that memory. Okay. Dig in with Behold. So best draw now is probably going to be a land. Alright, untapped land so that I have the Drown in the Lock. I don't know if that's going to help me stop the memory. Raise and borrow that away, sure. Find a Mystical Dispute. Well, Mystical Dispute maybe can be okay. I'm gonna get rid of that and pass it over to him. He might not want to refill my hand knowing that I'm kind of stuck on lands. And he's at 30 cards in his graveyard. He knows he doesn't need to go very fast on this memory. Gotta try. Can't let Teferi resolve. Okay, it's an untapped land. Good. So, I think it's Bruvak time. Get him onto the battlefield, so the opponent needs to do something very quickly with him. Otherwise, he's going to mill a ton of cards. Opponent adds 7 lands, so the memory is a little bit risky, I think, for him. Yep, I think it's fine to lose Bruvak. Opponent fighting tooth and nail to stay in this game. Okay, he puts that in untapped. Maybe he figures his life total is not really relevant in this game, which it absolutely isn't. I am not going to be killing him with 0/4s. Saw it coming. Yeah. Gonna let it go. Put out the Fable Passage. Not gonna crack the Fable Passage, but get it out there. We haven't seen any crabs this game. I wish they'd show their face. So now, is he not gonna go for it? Wow. Okay, find a land. It's sorcery speed, right? Yeah. So, playing out the Brazen Borer and the 1/1 from the Castle Ardenvale. Getting a little bit of a clock going. Okay. Fantastic. Let's hope that one card he drew isn't a counterspell. I really want this Angel of the Story to resolve. And it does. Doesn't resolve into very much, though, does it? So just play out a Watery Grave. Pass it over the opponent. Going to be taking some hits. He'll probably make another 1/1. Yeah. So he's got a good little clock, and I don't really have any way of dealing with this Brazen Borrower. It's going to be the biggest problem. He is down to 26 cards, though. Man. Drawn real bad. Okay. Well, there's the Rune Crab, so not bad. Play out the Rune Crab, play out a land, and might be able to get there with a little bit of luck. $23. Actually, it's very far away. And he's got me on a 2-turn clock. Probably should have put out this Secret Keeper there. Still a 2-turn clock with or without the Secret Keeper, though. Well, that's it's a little unfortunate that so many lands found their way into my hand. Yeah, opponent gonna. He's not. What I can do is I can drown in the lock the Brazen Borrower to stay alive for one more turn. Go down to 1 because he's gonna make another baby here. But then that memory comes out and it's just going to refill his graveyard, refill his deck with his graveyard, and yeah, not gonna really work out for me. And that's assuming that this Drown in the Lock resolves, which bit of a long shot, I think. Yeah. Okay, opponent. You got me. At least it was an interesting game of Mill versus Azorius. Just couldn't quite find the cards that I needed. Couldn't get any enchantments to stay on the battlefield. And that's kind of the key to the deck, is doing that. Anyways, we're still not out of it. We're only, I want 1-1 now. It's fine. Really wish I could have taken that game, though. It would have been great. Playing first will be nice. Hopefully I can get one of those enchantments to stick early on. But he has a lot of disruption, surprisingly, from his sideboard with those enchantments that take mine. Whatever it's called, the flash one. And the Brazen Borrowers. So not super likely that I'll be able to amount much of an offensive mill plan. All right, get to play first. Only find one land. Now, okay, all the lands. It's not a compromise. It shouldn't be no lands or all the lands. That's not how I want to play this game. Okay, get to lead on the Temple of Deceit. See and opt. Alright. Unfortunately, the Drowned Catacomb's going to come and tap this turn. So, I'm going to opt now. Yeah, that's fine. Go! Okay, another tap land, and that's an okay draw. So, lead on the Drowned Secrets, hold up the Spell Pierce, just in case he has something nasty for me on turn 3. Or right now. Well, yeah, I'll fight over the Drowned Secrets. Get that Spell Pierce value while I can. Not always possible against Azorius. Oh, okay. Opponent just foretelling a card. And land. There it is. Well. Oh, man. Ashiok would be really good, I guess. Because I think he'd have a hard time dealing with it. So would the Teferi's Tutelage, though. Yeah, I'm going to go with Ashiok. We hit the Teferi. Not bad. Let's hit a couple more cards. Exile his graveyard.
I'll have a better plan next time.
And throw out the Drowned Catacomb. Okay, opponent has a Narset. Kind of annoying. There's the Mystical Dispute. So, unfortunately, this Teferi's Tutelage, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. I'm pretty sure that means I just discard a card. Probably still worth getting it onto the battlefield. We'll get rid of this pathway. Womp womp. Okay. And mill you for 4 more. Hold up the Mystical Dispute. The opponent did miss a land drop last turn, so yeah, maybe our enchantments will be a little safe. He has a Dovin's Veto in hand that we know about, so gotta be careful with that. And there's the Cast Out, the card I couldn't remember the name of, and he misses his land drop again. Oh, baby. Take advantage of the opponent missing things.
I leave you with one last.
I'm going to keep the land in hand, just in case I draw a crab. There's no reason to put it out now. Cycles the Cast Out. That's a little bit of a desperation play by the opponent. Did he miss the land again? Oh my goodness. Okay, slow and steady. We might just barely get there. Mill him ever so slightly every turn with 2 from Teferi's Tutelage, and, well, this is going to be the last Ashiok trigger. But now I have 2 counter spells up, so yeah, that's going to be good. And every time I play one of these counter spells, it's going to hit the Drowned Secrets. And he's helping us out a little bit. Drawing cards is up to, or down to 19 cards in his deck. Finds the 4th land, though. I kind of want to jam this Teferi's Tutelage. Narset is annoying, though.
Your final terror.
It's going to mill 2 cards. Yeah, let's go for it. Maybe I should have done Narset or Ashiok after this one. He doesn't like it. Do I go to war over this one? Yeah, sure. At the very least, milling some cards with the Drowned Secrets. Oh, what am I doing? I forgot Dovin's Veto. I forgot what Dovin's Veto did. Dummy. Just smooth brain player over here. So now I might get punished with a Teferi if he drops Big Boy. Oof. Oh, there's the commit. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Now I just feel bad. Okay, play out the Fable Passage. Oh no. He didn't hit the land for the memory. Narset is making this into the story real bad. Okay. It's fine. Five cards. And I have the Drown in the Lock, all in, counter on the memory if that's what he's going for. Okay, he'll have 6 mana next turn, possibly 7. I feel real bad that I threw away that counter spell. Real smooth brain play. Oh no.
Trust me. You'll thank me later.
Oh, he's gonna tuck my drown, but I didn't want to.
Much more malleable than
I didn't want to drown the Teferi because of the memory. All right, what do I want? Not what I want. He's down to 3. Does he go for it? You know, the memory is not even going to shuffle that many cards into his library. Only 9. Still, I think that's how he can stay alive just long enough. Okay. Okay. Double Drown in the Lock. So, kind of just, smooth sailing from here, if that's the case. There's the memory. So, counter you. As long as he doesn't have a Dovin's Veto, which is uncounterable, I've learned. Okay. What a stressful game that was. All right. Well, I mean, this is what happens when you put together a deck the night before and then try to play out games with it. You're not going to play it optimally, and that's probably not why you're watching this video. If you wanna see higher level play, go watch Reed Duke. Anyways, that says victory. We won, beating Azorius control with mill. It's a thing. It can happen. I'm satisfied with that. Okay, more mill. A little upset right now because I just had a very good game against colorless ramp or whatever you want to call it. The ones that just play out a whole bunch of mana rocks and go into Ugins and Karns and all that crap. And beat them 2-0, and it was a very, very good game, very fun. And I forgot to hit the record button. So, too bad. Still, mill deck's performing very well. This hand looks okay. Need another land to get out this Bruvak, but we'll see if we get there. I probably I'm going to lead on the Rune Crab this time. It's sometimes not always right to throw it out right away, especially going into an opponent you don't know what he's playing. Okay. I'd like to get extra value from the Fable Passage right away, but I think I'd prefer the Scry right now. Yep, that's good. So our opponent is on nonsense. Sounds good. Yeah, the last game was really good. It was super close. It just came down to, I got a little bit lucky that he never resolved an Ugin or a Ulamog during the 2 matches that we played. Still, good performance from the mill deck. Okay, let's get Brewback onto the table, and next turn really go to town with a lot of milling if nothing disastrous happens. Always Skyclave Apparitions and other things that we got to consider when we see Bant Mana Base. Who knows what the opponent's up to. He could just play out an Uro. In fact, I don't care if he plays out the Uro. Kind of happy with that. Draw a card. Help me out a little bit. Double check just there to make sure I'm recording because I'm really upset about that last match. Alright, so this is going to mill a lot. I'm not sure if I want to play out both of these walls. I kind of want to just keep up a Drown in the Lock. Okay, opponent down to 22 cards. This would be another 8 cards. I think I'm going to hold up the Drown. I think it's prudent. Okay, opponent going to attack in with the Uro. Sure thing, bud. 20 cards now, helping us out, drawing 2 cards this turn. Oh, I suppose I'll block. Cute little Bolt Hound over here playing. Well, yep. Countering that. Oh, it's so good. Bye-bye opponent's deck. See you later. How about 6 more? Let me double check. Make sure I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording that one. Wow, I think that's the best I've ever seen the deck perform. Getting a Brewback onto the field on turn 3 and not having any of the opponent do anything with him is just absolutely insane. That's the dream. Alright, against our opponent here, I could bring in the Grafdigger's Cages, but you know what, I don't know again. Do I care about Uro? Maybe not. I imagine the Mystical Disputes are going to be pretty good in this matchup, so are the Spell Pierces. All right. So we got to make some cuts. Walls can go out. Bring in 2 Mysticals. Deck, I'm not sure how to side with it quite yet, because it is very tight. Everything is a moving part. And yeah, I don't care if he Uros. And so the Cling to Dust and the Grafdiggers are not things I'm going to be bringing in. But this 3rd Mystical Dispute probably should be in the deck. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is a Spell Pierce to stop the Doomscar. But I mean, even if he Doomscars, what do I care? He might get a Rune Crab. Took out 2 by accident. Alright. Bring in the 3 Mystical Disputes. Take out 3 walls. We'll see. If you have any recommendations for how to sideboard with this deck, please let me know. Still trying to figure it out. Just tossed it together last night. And these are the first ranked games I played with it, and it's going well, and it's fun. I'm having fun. I'm sure other people are not having fun with it, but those people, they need to lighten up. So, Watery Grave into a Rune Crab, hope it survives, and then can start doing some real damage. The 3 CMC enchantments are the ones that are performing the poorest, actually, from all the testing I've done today. A little surprising with that. So I am going to put out the Fabled Passage, just in case he has a way of killing this Rune Crab. Maybe I can get some extra value. And just toss off a Venture Deeper. You got it, bud. You Dovin's Veto that all day long. Kind of making me suspect that he has more Dovin's Vetoes to come. Maybe not. There's a Growth Spiral. Sure. Trying to find a land. Okay. Well, yeah, so maybe that's what he was indicating there, that he has another Dovin's Veto. Okay. Scry with the Temple of Deceit. Mill some cards with the Rune Crab. Is that Antiquities War? No. Okay, Kiora. I was gonna say. Oh, okay. Draw some more. Scry 2 to the top. Scary. I do like lands, so I will keep that island on the top. And I'm gonna do this because I know he scryed 2 to the top. He drew 1. So he kept a land on the top. Okay. Into the Story is online now. Pretty good. It'd be nice to have this Psychic Corrosion down before playing Into the Story, but I don't know if that's going to happen. He might have a big play for us now. Alright, Doomscar. Get the value from the Rune Crab, but I'll trade a Rune Scar or Doomscar for a Rune Crab. Sure. Double Into the Stories. Yeah. You know what? It's Ashiok time. As much as I would like to play out these Into the Stories, I kind of feel like I just want to get rid of the Uro and then start rebuilding. Is that what I want to do? I could just Psychic Corrosion and then next turn Into the Story. That's going to be a lot of milling. 10 cards per turn. Do I care about Uro? Does he have the mana for Uro? He doesn't even have the mana for Uro. Okay. Psychic Corrosion. Enchantments that come out onto the battlefield on turn 3 and don't do anything. Not so great. That's why I'm playing 4 Teferi's Tutelages, because at least it lets me cycle a card from my hand, or cycle's not the right word, loot with a card, and then get immediate value. But with this Psychic Corrosion, I gotta wait a little while. Opponent drawing cards, milling himself. Not milling himself, but yeah. Into the Story. Here we go. See if he has that Dovin's Veto that I thought he had from his opener. Yeah. Okay. So, that's a little unfortunate. And he's got the Mystical Dispute. Miss on the lands. Too bad. So I could draw 1 with Into the Story next turn, on his turn. Pretty much anything I throw out right now, he's going to dispute it anyways. Maybe that's the play, is just to draw 1. Force him to dispute. And then next turn, if I draw a land with the Drown in the Lock, I could hold up the Drown in the Lock and play out one of the 3-cost spells. Maybe. Okay, he's got mana for Uro now. Kind of fine with that. "24 cards.
I have just the trick for this.
Oh, he missed on the Narset. Okay, let's see if he lets me draw one. Maybe he really doesn't want me drawing anything. He's just going to Mystical Dispute it. I would love for him to do that. Okay. Wow. Hey, Maddening Cacophony. Pretty good right now. So 20 cards. Fire it off. This might be something he disputes, because it's almost half of his library. Yeah, okay. I could counter it. I think it's okay. So we will venture deeper and then throw out one of these Secret Keepers to block Uro. I don't know, Uro attacking helps us get to our win con a little bit quicker. Narset, running into a fair amount of Narsets since playing today. Kind of annoying. Really need a land. That's the best draw right now. Seagate Restoration. Oh. I don't know if you want to be doing that, bud. Okay, there's the land. So I guess it's Ashiok. Mm-hmm. Hopefully this Fable Passage is not another Mystical Dispute. But I don't know if he even has fetchable islands. He's just not having any of it. Awesome! Oh man, beating the Uro decks with Mill. It might be real. Oh man. I really wish I recorded that game, the last game against the big mana deck, because it was a similar performance as that. I'm psyched on this deck. I'm going to keep playing with it and try to tune it a little bit more. Super fun. All right, what can I say about Historic Mill? It works. It went up against a lot of tier decks today and performed very well, even in the games where mana wasn't quite perfect or our draws weren't quite there. It was still able to add a lot of pressure to the opponent's game plan, and we snuck a lot of wins. And some games, especially in that last game against the Uro deck, man, that first match, it just popped off. I had Bruvac onto the battlefield, and he was just milling so many cards. It's fantastic to see it. So it's maybe very real and maybe a thing. Of course, like all my decks, there's tuning that needs to be done. Thoughtseize is a card that I might consider putting into the deck. It's I don't need to do that. All right, like that. Maybe running 4 of in the main, or maybe just throw them in the side. Could be a thing. It's going to be good for disrupting the opponent's plans before they can disrupt yours. I didn't run into any aggro matchups today while playing this, so that might be something to look at for future games. I'm not sure how well I would do, especially against like a Gruul aggro. But against mono red aggro, I still feel like the matchup's okay, with the Secret Keeper being 0-4 and the Wall of Lost Thoughts being a 0-4 and Bruvac even being a 1-4. Lots of big booties to be stopping our opponent's early game creatures. yeah, deck's cool. Let me know what you think about it. If there are any changes you'd like to make or that you would make. Have you tried Historic Mill Out before? Are there some things that are a little different? Should there be more Drowned Secrets in the deck? This card overperformed in my opinion. Maddening Cacophony, also a very good performer. The one that performed the least for me was definitely Psychic Corrosion, being a slightly worse Teferi's Tutelage. I'm not sure if I need any of them in the deck. Maybe it might be better to go up to 4 Drowned Secrets instead of having 2 Psychic Corrosions in the deck. Also, a little bit of a nombo here with Into the Story and Ashiok, but as you become a better player, and I'm hoping that I will become a better player with this deck, maybe you can play around it a little bit and you can pop off with Into the Story before you exile Ashiok, or exile the graveyard with Ashiok, rather. It is only 7 cards in the graveyard, so it's not a steep requirement to get that discount of 3. And then the big all-star, of course, Bruvac coming in from Jumpstart. Definitely worth the mythic wildcards, I think. All right, that's the deck. Let me know what you thought of it. Do you hate Mill? Do you love Mill? Yeah, a lot of fun. Try it out, maybe. Take care. Thanks for watching.